Hi, my name is Max. I'm one of the TAs for 8A this quarter. I'm going to be making an overview video for PSA5 Chromakey. So let's start off with the style and comments because getting started has been the same throughout every assignment and hopefully you're familiar with that. So style and comments are also pretty much the same. We want you to include a file header on all files. That includes your name, login ID, and date on all of your files. And then comments and style are worth 2 points additionally. So what we're looking for are meaningful variable names. So don't just call things X or Y. Try to name them something more meaningful, for example, source pixel or target pixel. We're also looking for proper indentation of code. This one should be pretty easy. Dr. Java has this nice built-in auto indentation tool. So how you use that is you select everything and then just press tab. And then it should auto indent all of your code. You should try and study how Dr. Java does this because in future classes you'll probably have to do this manually. We also want method header comments, so this will be at the beginning of all of your methods. You had to do this for the previous PSAs as well, so you can look to those as a reference. We want to see the input parameters as well as the return values, a brief description of those, and then a high-level description of your method, so what it does. And then another thing is that each line of your code shouldn't be longer than 80 comments. This usually happens for really long inline comments or method header comments. Just separate it out into many lines. One more thing that we saw across previous homeworks was that when you copy paste code into Dr. Java, sometimes it may work on your machine, but it doesn't always work. So for example, apostrophes and other formatted text would cause compile issue, and we will dock points for that. Okay, so this is going to be the main problem. I'll show you how it works. So let's just look at the examples first. So we want to start with this. It's a person with a green screen behind them. This one's blue, but yours is going to be green. And then we have a background source image, which you'll be using to replace the green screen, and a shirt source image, which you'll be using to replace your shirt. Okay, so let's go back to the start of Chromakey. So how this will work is you need to first get your 3 source images. The first one is a picture of yourself or you and your partners standing, sitting, doing something in front of a green screen. It'll be located in B230. The person's appearing in this picture should be wearing a solid colored shirt because that makes modifying that shirt a lot easier. And make sure that the color is not green so that it doesn't interfere with the green screen portion of changing the background. This is going to be your first source image. We want you to name this pic0.jpg. We might refer to this as my source image later on in the write-up. The second one is going to be the picture that you're going to use to change the background. We want you to name this pic1.jpg. And then the last source image is what you're going to be using to replace your shirt, and that is going to be pic2.jpg. Make sure you save all 3 of these into your local file, put it into your PSA5 folder, and yeah. So one thing you might want to consider is if your images are too large or too high resolution, you can change the resolution to something smaller using Photoshop or Microsoft Paint. But these are the only things that will allow you to use an outside program for. You can't change the color or anything like that. Okay, so here's the meat of the project. This is going to be what's in picture.java. You have 2 main methods that you want to implement. These are the method header signatures, method signatures. Make sure that you don't modify these at all. it has to return a picture, and it has to take in only these parameters: background, replace color for um, background change, and shirt original, old shirt color, start X, start Y, width and height for shirt change. Okay, so let's look at background change first. The two parameters that we want, or what we pass into this method, are background and replace color. The background is going to be the picture that you use to obtain the new background pixel values, and replace color is going to be the color of the green screen in this case, so it's going to be green. So one thing that you need to make sure that this method does is it returns a modified copy of the calling object. So you're going to have your original picture and you're going to call this method onto it, but it should return a new image such that the new image is the modified one, and if you try to display the calling object again, it's unchanged. And then one more thing is that the green screen may have like different shades based on lighting, so we introduce a tolerance variable. This is going to be up to you. You declare it as a constant in this method, and it means to change all of the pixels that are within this tolerance of the color that you specified. Okay, so the second method is a little bit more complicated, but it's still not too hard if you take it slow. So the calling object in this method is going to be the modified picture that you created using the first method. So that means that the background is going to be changed, but the shirt is still going to be the old shirt. So this method takes a lot of parameters, and I broke it down into a description of each one. The shirt is going to be the source picture, so your first image, or sorry, the shirt is going to be the picture, so pick 2, the pattern that you want to place onto your shirt. The original, which is the original image unmodified. The old shirt color, which is the color of your shirt, unmodified shirt, so it's going to be some solid color. And start X, start Y, width and height. So these ones are a little bit tricky. You might wonder what they're for. What we actually use them for is to limit where the shirt is. So here's an example. We create this small box so that we only look through here for colors that match the shirt. So to get these values, you can just open up Explorer and then kind of guess and check the values that you think might work, and then declare them as constants at the beginning of your file. And then note that this method also returns a modified copy of the calling object. Okay, so here's the examples. You can read most of it by yourself. It's pretty straightforward, but now note right here, just like I've been saying previously, you want to save the modified image into a new picture, so that afterwards, if you call my background source image Explorer, you'll see the modified image, and if you called Explore on myself source image, it'll still be the unmodified version. Okay, so one more thing to note is why this method takes in a reference to the original image. Why can't we just change all of the colors, all the pixels that match the color of the old shirt color in the modified version? That's because once you change the background isn't uniform anymore. So even though you specified a box that contains the shirt, who might still read in pixels outside of the shirt that match the old shirt color with the tolerance. So what we actually want you to do is read in all the pixels, save all the pixels that are matching the old shirt color in the original image, and use those coordinates to change the shirt in the modified image. Okay, so hints and restrictions. You can use Paint and Photoshop to lower the resolutions, like I said before, and also you can try adding additional methods to improve or normalize the solid colors. So that might be helpful in not having such a big tolerance value and making things more accurate. Okay, so PSA5.java. So this is the main method. Um, you have to return a new picture that's modified without modifying the original. You can see past and previous assignments and also labs to get a refresher memory on how to do that. Also, we want you not to use file chooser and just specify the new picture directly. So you can see that right here. Pick 0, pick 1, pick 2.jpg, which you should have saved locally. And then at the end, when you're finished, what we want to see in the main method is a picture of the original. You want to display that. Call background change on the original. So you can see examples for that. And this will replace the background and display this resulting picture object. Then call shirt change to the resulting picture object from the previous method and display this as well. Okay, and then program description, same as before, write this in the top of picture.java. Make sure that you include a description for PSA5 and picture.java, but include it all in picture.java. The extra credit this time is pretty difficult actually. You're encouraged to look for algorithms online on how to implement it. The actual problem is to make a method that will resize your source images to fit the t-shirt or the background size without stretching or having any noticeable stretching or shrinking of areas and distorting the image. There's like a YouTube video right here that gives you a good idea of how this works. And again, we encourage you to look up algorithms online on how to do this and try to implement it yourself. If you do this extra credit, make sure that you make an extra file called extra credit psa5.java, and same as usual, include the header comments with your name, PID, date, and your CSID. Okay, and then also one last thing to note is when you turn in your homework and you upload it to Vocarium, make sure you click submit before the deadline. Some people have been uploading their assignments and forgetting to hit the submit button, and so from our end it shows that you just haven't submitted anything. So be careful of that and make sure you press submit. Alright, that's about it.